morning, Londonderry.
This is WMTL News reporting to you.
I'm Frank Thomas.
And I'm Sarah Abladian.
And today we'll be talking about
Finding Planet 9,
the New Hampshire ice castles, rodeos,
5 things to know about money, and Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. Now we have Morgan with Finding Planet 9.
Thank you, Sarah. For all you who are interested in space and might want to keep listening, I'm going to talk to you about the new Planet 9 that may exist. Scientists at the California Institute of Technology have found signs of large objects in space. It is interesting to note that the scientists used math modeling and computer simulations to find the planet. Planet 9 may have formed closer to the sun and may have kicked out to its current location. It's hard to believe, but Planet 9's location is not known. The planet is believed to be 10 times the mass of Earth. Also, Planet 9 would be about the same commonly found exoplanets orbiting other stars. It would also take about 20,000 years for the faraway planet to circle the sun. Scientists plotted up the positions of those objects and matched simulations exactly. Now that the researchers have predicted the planet's location and size, they hope someone will spot it. That's my newscast about Planet 9. Back to you in the studio.
That was really cool, Morgan. Now moving to Sarah with the New Hampshire ice castles.
Thanks, Frank. It's hard to believe that people are building massive ice structures. There are only 4 giant ice structures in the world. Luckily, we have one right near us called the New Hampshire Ice Castles. The New Hampshire Ice Castles are an ice attraction made of pure ice. This attraction is located in Lincoln, New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Ice Castles are here today thanks to Brent Christensen. He started building many ice structures and igloos in his backyard. The New Hampshire ice castles were formed by sprinklers pointed in certain directions and then frozen that direction. One note is heed the signs. When the signs say don't break the ice or climb the ice, they say that because that can lead to broken icicles or injuries. It is important to dress appropriately for this occasion. That means wear hat, jacket, gloves, and snow pants. Inside the ice castles, it is the same temperature as outside. But of course, they are only open in the winter on bitter cold days. As you walk in, you are met by a small gift shop containing souvenirs. The New Hampshire ice castles have been blowing up since their winter opening date on December 27th. You and your family should go check it out.
Maybe we should make that a class field trip.
I think people would enjoy that. Now to Frank with his report on Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump.
Thanks, Sarah. Today I'll be talking about Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, and they are both running for President of the United States. I hope you're ready for this crazy political ride. It's voting season, and Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump just won the 2016 New Hampshire primary elections. Sanders campaigns as a Democrat, but he's actually listed as an independent. He says he will give free college and lower interest rates on student loans, but to pay for his plans, he will have a tax called the Robin Hood tax on trades of stocks, bonds, options, and futures. Many people like this plan, but it will run into the financial industry. Now moving on to this billionaire, Donald Trump. Trump wants a stronger economy and military. His big thing is making America great again. Lots of people are worried about where America is in the world, and Trump says he will put America back where it needs to be. I wonder who our next president will be. Back to you, Sarah. Now we have Chris interviewing our special guest, Mr. McCarthy.
When you were little, did you want to be a principal?
No, when I was little, I actually wanted to be a teacher, and after years of teaching is when I kind of had the desire to become a principal.
Oh, okay. What college did you attend to?
Well, I have attended 2 colleges. My undergraduate degree, I went to Plymouth State University, and then I have my 2 masters from Riviera.
Okay. Who was your role model when you were little?
The most amazing role model I have ever had has been my mother.
Where did you live when you were little?
When I was first born, I was in Brockton, and then my parents moved to Chelmsford, Massachusetts when I was halfway through 2nd grade. So right around Christmas time, I had to move to a brand new school, which was a very interesting experience. But after that, I spent the rest of my life in Chelmsford.
What is your favorite superhero?
This is the easiest question. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
I could tell because in the hallway I was wearing a Spider-Man shirt. You came and you were just like, nice shirt, and then I did that like 3 times, and you were just like, nice shirt.
Yeah. When I was little, like if you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I wanted to be Spider-Man. And now if that job opens up in the near future, that's it. I'm gone. I'm gonna go take that job.
Did you have any pets when you were little?
Yep, I've always grown up with dogs. I can't say I've gone much of my life without one.
Are you allergic to anything?
Nope, I'm free of allergies. I'm not even allergic to poison ivy.
What did you do before becoming an assistant principal, and why did you change jobs?
Well, when I went to college, I got my teaching degree, and then I started in a very little town called Hillsborough, New Hampshire, and that's where I worked for the first 4 years. Then I got hired at Londonderry Middle School, where I taught for 11 years, and that's what kind of led to my transition as a principal.
What did you do before? Oh, wait, I just did that one. What did you like about being an assistant principal?
I like the fact that I get to be in every classroom and see everyone grow as students and as individuals, grades 1 through 5. So I think seeing the whole picture of all 540 kids is really neat, which is different than being a teacher because you only see about 90 to 100 kids kind of make that growth. So that's what I really like about it.
What's the hardest part about your job?
Ooh, there's a couple things to that. One is there's not enough hours in the day. There's always a lot to do, and being able to manage your time very well and get everything done when it needs to be done, I think sometimes is the hardest part of the job.
When you became principal, what surprised you most?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think, to be honest, not too much has surprised me. I came into this experience with very open eyes, knowing that I was going to learn a lot of stuff along the way. So no big surprises, that's for sure.
What would you like to change about your job?
That's a very loaded question, so I'm going to answer very politically correct. I said I like my job very much, and there's not much I would change about it at all. Trying to set me up.
Well, thank you, Mr. McCarthy, for this awesome interview. Now back to Sarah and Frank at the studio.
Now we have Colin with 5 things to know about money.
Thank you, Sarah. Today we'll be talking about the 5 things you need to know about money. The first thing you should know about money is that it's very important to earn a decent living. What I mean by that is you need to find a good job that makes you happy but also pays a good salary. The second thing you should know about money is that you need to spend less money than you make. In this way, if there is something unexpected that happens, you will have the money to fix it. So that means you should save 15% of every dollar you make. Investing money wisely is another reason to save. You can buy stocks and bonds with extra money you don't use. Stocks are small pieces of a company. Stocks and bonds increase in value and often pay dividends. Money in a bank or credit union earns interest. Protecting our financial world is extremely important. That's why you have insurance. There's insurance for your personal property, car, and health. The fifth thing to think about when it comes to money is really an option. If you want to feel good about your money, you can give back some. It's your choice how much you want to give, and the giver has many charities or causes to choose from. Those are the 5 things you need to know about money. Back to you in the studio.
I never knew that about money.
Now over to Chris on news on rodeos.
Thank you, Frank, and today we'll be talking about rodeos. Rodeos are a competitive sport that involves herding cattle. They take place in Spain, Mexico, United States, Canada, South America, Australia, and New Zealand. Cowboys and cowgirls do rodeos as a test to see how fast and strong they are. There is also an American-style rodeo which involves tying down cows and bulls, team roping, bull riding, steer wrestling, saddle bronco riding, bareback bronco riding, and barrel racing. Rodeos have also caused opposition from animal rights activists. Animal welfare advocates argue that rodeos can contribute to animal cruelty. The American rodeo has been trying to improve the welfare of rodeo animals, but there is still opposition by animal welfare organizations from the United States and Canada. Some local and state governments have banned rodeos in North America. Calf roping is based on ranch work where calves are tied for medical and other reasons. In spite of popular myth, most modern broncos are not in fact wild horses, but are more commonly spoiled riding horses or horses bred specifically as bucking stock. Rough stock events also use at least 2 well-trained riding horses, ridden by pickup men or women, tasked with assisting fallen riders and helping successful riders get safely off the bucking animal.
Yeehaw!
Frank, we're live.
Oh, sorry.
And thanks for listening to WMTL News.
Welcome to Evening News on Waffle.
I'm Maggie.
I'm Olivia, and we have lots of interesting stories like Code of Honor,
Google Cardboard,
Scott Kelly,
and many more mind-blowing stories.
Now off to Sally with her first story.
Thanks, Olivia. Can you believe that an astronaut spent almost a year in space? Well, I can, because astronaut Scott Kelly has lived in the ISS, International Space Station, for 342 days. On the ISS, Kelly did 400 experiments. He logged over 144 million miles while in space. That's about the distance from Earth to Mars. Before Scott Kelly landed, he stated, "I've been here a long time, so I'm looking forward to leaving." Talking about going home, Kelly said, "I'm going to go home and jump in my pool." About his feelings, he said, "The hardest part is being isolated, in a physical sense, from people on the ground that are important to you." Scott Kelly landed on Earth on March 1st, 2016. As he rose from the capsule, he fist-pumped, then gave a thumbs up. He said, "The air feels great out here." Kelly has helped to advance the idea of a trip to Mars by having his vitals compared with his twin Mark. Soon humans will be able to endure long-term space flights. While aboard the ISS, Scott Kelly drank 200 gallons of urine. He drank all this to live in space. After he went to the bathroom, the urine was cleaned, then used to drink. While Scott Kelly was on the ISS, he video chatted with New York's East Side Middle School. The children asked Kelly multiple questions. One of those questions was, "Who do you miss most?" Kelly answered that he missed his friends and family. That's all I've got to say about Scott Kelly. Back to you, Olivia.
That is really interesting. I didn't know so many facts about Scott Kelly.
Yeah, there's always a lot to learn about. Now off to Olivia with news about health.
Thanks, Maggie. Let me tell you about 4 different ways to stay healthy. These tips are really helpful to improve your health. My first tip to stay healthy is to cook and eat colorfully. A good balanced diet contains 5 fruits and veggies a day. Make a note of every time you have a fruit or a veggie. If you have a written report, you can see how well you are doing with fruits and veggies. If you notice you don't have enough veggies, you can make a goal to eat more veggies the next day. Second tip to stay healthy is to track dollars and calories. Spending less and eating better is the key. Keep a written report of each purchase you make. Make a note of every time you have an unhealthy snack. If you have too many calories, shoot for a lower calorie snack instead. If you're having trouble because you are having too many unhealthy snacks, try something small like a low-calorie yogurt. My next tip is to drink plenty of water. If you don't drink plenty of water, you can get headaches. If you ever get a headache, try to drink water. Water can reduce headaches. If you don't have enough water, you can get a stomachache and you can get dizzy. There are different stages when you don't have enough water. Stage 1 is a headache. Stage 2 is dizziness. Stage 3 is when you throw up, and stage 4 is when you pass out. Don't let yourself get to the point where you pass out. My last tip is to be careful when you're eating out. Many meals come with gravy, dressing, and sauce. These gravies, dressings, and sauces are packed with salt. If you do get a meal with gravy, dressing, or sauce, be careful when you're enjoying your meal. These tips can help you stay healthy. Following these simple guidelines can help you live a healthier and happier life. Back to you, Maggie.
That was really cool and some great tips. Now I realize that I eat too much sugar.
Thanks. Now off to Maggie with big news about Google.
Thanks, Olivia. Now I'm going to talk to you about Google Cardboard. Have you ever thought about how far technology has gotten? Because it just took a step further. When you think of a virtual reality headset, you most likely think of an extremely high-tech and expensive device. But Google, a company that started off small and was founded on September 4th, 1998, came up with something affordable and far more simpler than that. Even the name is simple. It's called Google Cardboard. Google Cardboard looks like a cardboard box, except for the fact that it has 2 lenses and a spot for your nose. It also resembles binoculars. There's a magnet on the side, and if you press it, it acts as if you're touching the screen. You could probably prank someone and say it's just a magical piece of cardboard, but really, it's much more. Google Cardboard is powered by your phone, but you still need to download a specific app. Then, the fun begins. After assembly, Google Cardboard works by simply placing your phone at the best distance away from the lenses. Then, by using apps, the lenses make a 3D effect when you put it up to your eyes. When you move your head around, it scrolls to the left or right depending on which way you move your head, allowing you to look for the app you want. If you are in an app, you look around by tilting your head. You can install tons of apps that allow you to ride roller coasters, admire mountainsides, walk the streets of Paris, fly around in space, and lots more fun activities. This simple and easy to use virtual reality headset will surely provide hours of amusement in your home.
I never knew Google came up with something so awesome like that. That's amazing. It must have took a while to make it that good.
Yeah, it is really cool. Now off to Sully with big news about some girls in India.
Thanks, Maggie. The Jharkhand, India community is poor. 6 out of 10 girls in this region can't read or write. Families do not encourage girls to go to school. Many miss 40 to 50 days a year. Radha Kumari was one of these girls. She could have been married by the age of 15 if her life had stayed on this track. This 13-year-old was given hope by a nonprofit soccer program when she joined the local team. The program is called UWA. It's only for girls and started during 2009. The program gives the girls more confidence about what they can do. U.S. coaches were asked by the girls in this program to let them practice every day. In addition, the girls received tutoring. 600 girls have been involved since its beginning. Currently, 250 are involved. Most girls who have gotten a scholarship missed almost a year of school. I think this program has done many things for the girls in UWA. Now back to you, Maggie.
Wow, that was so interesting. I can't believe it made the girls on the program more confident about what they can do.
Now we're staying with some news about Code of Honor.
Thanks, Maggie. Did you know that in World War II, the Japanese cracked all the United States codes? Codes are like something no one knows about, like a language, or like one beat means S. That is what codes are. It helps the military keep secrets. Codes are a big part of war, and we needed one. The Japanese had code breakers on their side, and they cracked all of our codes, and we were desperate. Then we found out about the Navajo. The Navajo Indian tribe is from the southwestern U.S. Their language was unknown. We had 400 Navajo code talkers in World War II. Most of them were Marines. The Navajo had a code that we used that the Japanese couldn't crack. That definitely helped us win the war. Thank you, Navajos. Back to you in the studio.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I can't believe that they came up with an unbreakable code. Now over to Ian.
Thanks. I am here to review classic video games that may sound familiar to you. The history of video games go way back to the early 1950s. Sadly, I can't name them all, but here are a few of my favorites from the 1970s and 1980s. So with that being said, here it goes. First up is Pac-Man. Now personally, Pac-Man is not absolutely one of my old favorite video games, but it's still pretty good. Pac-Man was made in 1980 and developed by Namco. Pac-Man is a game about a yellow circle which has to run from scary ghosts. It eats little white dots and stole the attention of many players when it first came up. Next up is Donkey Kong. This game was made in 1981 and developed by Nintendo and Nintendo Research. Donkey Kong is a game about a gorilla who kidnaps Mario's girlfriend, and it is up to the player to get her back. Third on my list is Mario, which was created in 1981. Mario actually first appears in Donkey Kong. Mario is a fictional character in the Mario franchise. Now up to my personal favorite, Space Invaders. Space Invaders was made in, well, no one's 100% sure when it was made, but we know it was released in 1978. It was made by Tomohiro Nishikaido. Space Invaders is a game about a spaceship that must destroy all enemy aliens and go through many stages to defeat the aliens. What's your favorite classic video game? I hope you enjoyed my report. Now back to you in the studio.
That is really cool. Great facts.
I know, I agree. That was so interesting.
Yeah, really great report. Now over to Marina with big news.
Thank you, Olivia. Tsunamis are one of the most dangerous natural disasters you can ever be in. They are long, high sea waves that can destroy a whole city. Tsunamis are mainly caused by earthquakes and can be as wide as 1,000 football fields. They can also get higher than 100 feet. If you're ever near a tsunami, get to the highest ground as quickly as possible. In advance of one, have a disaster plan and disaster kit. In your disaster kit, you should have canned food, a can opener, and bottled water. Now I'm going to tell you some facts about tsunamis. The states are at greatest risk of one are Hawaii, Alaska, Washington, Oregon, and California. Tsunamis are hard to detect. The last fact is that tsunami means harbor wave because the prefix "su" means harbor and "nami" means wave. Tsunamis can be life-threatening and scary. They're also very fascinating, so the more you know about them, the more prepared you're going to be for a tsunami. Now back to you in the studio.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Never knew tsunamis make such a big effect. Now back to Maggie again with some more interesting news.
Thanks, Olivia. Did you know Bernie Sanders is one of the candidates running for the Democratic Party's nomination? If he is elected president, he would be the oldest president and the first Jewish president. Bernie Sanders was born on September 8, 1941 in Brooklyn, New York. After college, he moved to Vermont. He has been a mayor, a representative, and a senator for Vermont. A mayor. During this campaign, Sanders has had many grassroots supporters and raises about $2,300 a day. He once said, "If a bank is too big to fail, it's too big to exist."
Unfortunately for all you Bernie Sanders supporters, he lost 6 major primaries so far, but the nomination hasn't been decided yet. Back to you, Olivia.
Wow, that is really interesting.
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic to learn about. Now back to Sully one last time.
Happy April Fools. This is the weather forecast from Waffle. As you can see, today will be around 45 degrees. Today will be a little bit cloudy, but there is sun, so don't worry. The high is 51 and the low is 32. Tomorrow will be a rainy day, but definitely warmer. It'll be 62 degrees. On Sunday, the warmest of the week, with 65 degrees and lots of sun. Monday is cloudy and a little cold at 49. The high is 52 and the low is 33. Tuesday, as cold as today, at 45 degrees. And the high is 53 and the low is 33. Also a 79% chance of rain. That's the 5-day forecast of this week from Waffle. And now back to you, Maggie.
That was really neat. Now I know what the weather is.
Yeah, great information. Now back to Marina for an interview.
Thank you for taking the time to do this interview for Waffle News. We really appreciate it. So, Ms. Chester, I understand you work for both Disneyland in California and Disney World in Florida. Mm-hmm. What did you study in high school or college to prepare for your career at Disney?
Well, okay, it's kind of tricky because you can't exactly take a class in Disney, right? Like in high school, you're not like, oh, I took Disney 405. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in college either. But what I did to work at Disney World and Disneyland was the college program. So I had to be in a certain major to get in. Because you can't just be like, oh, I don't know, I'm studying paper. They're like, what? No, you got to study something like that has to do Disney. So I had just declared my major in English and musical theater. And they liked musical theater. So they said, okay, we'll give you an interview. And then everything went through everything, and then somehow I got to Disney World.
That's cool. When did you realize you wanted to work for Disney?
Well, when I first graduated high school, well, before I graduated high school, I thought I wanted to be a teacher forever, just like Miss Chester is a teacher, and my parents are teachers. But then I took a couple classes in high school about teaching, and I thought, no, I do not want to be a teacher anymore. So then I was in college, and I was undeclared for a long time, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then Miss Chester was eating lunch with me one day, and she said, hey, I heard about this Disney college program. You should do it. And I said, well, I might as well. I don't know what I want to do. So then I did it, and that's how I found out.
That's so cool. Mm-hmm. How many hours per day do you work at both parks?
Oh, okay, this is tricky. So in California, I worked longer hours than I did in Florida. So in California, sometimes I would work like 12 hours a day, which were really long because I had to pack 2 lunches. Like, how weird is that? Like, I had 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I was like, what am I doing? But in Florida, I only ever worked, I think, maybe like 10 hours at the most when it would get like super crazy busy around like spring break or like Christmas, like that whole time, like when everybody's in the park and you're like, oh, we don't have enough people to work. Yeah. That's when I'd work forever long, but it was always fun.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. What kind of jobs do you have in both Florida and California?
Okay, so in both parks I worked in attractions, which meant that I worked the rides and parades, all that kind of stuff, like the fun things that you do in the park. I mean, eating food is fun too, but still. So in California, I worked at Autopia, which is like, have you ever been in Florida? There are these little cars you can drive around, like a little track in Tomorrowland. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. It's like that, but just in Disneyland. Oh. So people drive little cars, beep around, you know, move the cars for them and fix them, whatever. And then in Florida, I worked at Rock and Roller Coaster, which was awesome because I got to ride the roller coaster every day after work, which like was so cool. So I liked both of those, and then in both places I also worked parades. So I would stand on the side of the sidewalk and tell people like to stay on the sidewalk so they didn't get hit by a float, something which is never good. Never happened, so we're good. I like that, but I liked attractions more. I liked like running rides, pressing buttons, putting people in seatbelts. Like, you know, the people that tell you to push up on your seatbelt? Yeah. It's me. Oh, yeah.
Well, which location of Disney parks do you like working at better?
Oh, that's so tricky. Okay. Well, I'd have to say Florida, just because I'd been there more often. I had never been to Disneyland before I worked there. Really? Yeah. So, like, the whole time I was there, I was like, oh, this is all new. Oh, this is so different. And Disneyland's so much smaller than Florida. There's so many more parks in Florida. So I liked going to all the parks in Florida, being able to go to Epcot one day and then, like, Magic Kingdom the next day, switching things up. Where at Disneyland, you just kind of go to Disneyland every day, which can't complain. Yeah. But still, you know, definitely Florida.
Yeah. Did you get to enter the Disney parks free?
I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. which was awesome, yeah. And especially because you meet people from work who also can go there for free. So you get to go to free together, which is awesome. So like before work I would go, and then after work I would go. Oh, it was pretty cool, yeah.
What was your favorite part about working for Disney?
Oh, man. Okay, there were a lot of favorites. I mean, going to the parks is awesome. Yeah. Working the rides is awesome because you get to meet people all day and make people happy. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I get to put people on a roller coaster. Nobody's angry when they're going on a roller coaster. Or even when they're coming off. They're pretty happy, too. Yeah. My favorite part, though, was probably giving out stickers. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Did you ever get a sticker when you went to Disney World or anything like that?
Yeah.
I actually brought some stickers with me today, too. Oh, I have a Mickey sticker. Right? Mickey head stickers. Oh, pretty cool. Would you like one?
Thank you.
Fresh from Florida.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part, is being able to give out stickers, talking to people.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing your Disney experience with us. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you for watching Waffle.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome to Wolf News.
Oh! Today we'll be talking about hurricanes, horses, sports, and much more.
Now Ryan with Vinyl Records.
Have you ever thought about listening to a classic vinyl record? Well, in 2007, the popularity of records went through the roof. So now you can find them in a large amount of stores. As a record collector myself, I know how it feels to pick up the needle. Almost everyone right now has a smartphone with a bunch of songs that they enjoy. However, with vinyl, you can enjoy a full album, which usually consists of about 10 songs. Sometimes, an album even has exclusive extras, which are not found anywhere else. One of my favorite parts about vinyl is that you can truly hear the warmth and depth of the music rather than listening from a small speaker at the bottom of your phone. Something else about records is as you're looking for the perfect album, you can find different records and come home with albums that you didn't even know existed. Now for a little bit of history. The first record players were called phonographs and were made in 1877 by Thomas Edison. In the 1890s, records were normally 5 inches, but now they're about 12 inches in diameter. That's my report, and I hope you enjoyed. Back to you at the desk.
Maybe I should start listening to more vinyl.
Wow, that was a great report. Vinyl records sound so interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Haley is now going to talk to us about hurricanes.
Thanks, Olivia. Hurricanes are disastrous storms that begin as tropical storms and are very violent. They can cause chaos and lots of damage, such as flooding and the destruction of buildings and homes because of heavy winds. When a tropical storm's wind speed reaches 74 miles per hour, the storm becomes an official hurricane. Did you know that hurricanes have 3 names? Typhoons, cyclones, and tropical cyclones. Why tropical cyclones? Well, that's actually where they form. They mostly happen near the tropics because of the warm water there. They actually begin as tropical storms in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans near the equator. The warm water is like fuel to the clouds. Once it's so warm, it actually rises up. Once a formed cloud has a certain amount of water, and if it's warm enough, then new air pushes into the low pressure or open space, it mixes with the high surrounding moisture and swirls into, boom, a hurricane. As a storm system rotates faster and faster, an eye forms in the center of the storm, which is actually very calm weather. One of the deadliest hurricanes in history was Hurricane Katrina on August 23, 2005. Sadly, at least 1,245 people died in the hurricane and resulting floods. The reports show that there are no serious hurricanes coming, so don't freak out. If there is one, stay in a safe underground shelter away from windows, so a basement could work. Be prepared by stocking up on water and food that does not require electricity or refrigeration. Make sure you have flashlights and plenty of working batteries, and always check your local forecast to be informed of the weather. Back to Megan and Olivia in the studio.
I hope I never get caught in a hurricane.
Yeah, that would be scary.
Now Olivia with the weather forecast.
Thanks, Megan. Hi, I'm Olivia, and I'm going to tell you about this week's weather forecast. Tuesday will be very rainy and there will be a high chance of thunder. Wednesday has a very sunny forecast and it will be good for hanging outside with a few friends. Thursday will be very cloudy and foggy, so be careful on the roads. On Friday, it will be very chilly and very snowy, so remember to put on a winter jacket. On Saturday, there will be lots of hail, but not too heavy. Thank you for tuning in to Wolf's weather forecast. Back to you, Megan.
Wow, it looks like Wednesday will be a perfect day to play outside.
Now Alec will be talking about football.
Thank you, Olivia. Hi, all you football fans. Let's take a look at NFL statistics about the most Super Bowl pass completions in NFL history. A pass completion is a completed pass between the quarterback to the receiver or any offensive player in position able to catch the pass. In fifth place is Donovan McNabb, who played for the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 39. He carried out 30 completions to put his name in the history books. Next, there is a three-way tie for fourth place between Buffalo Bill Jim Kelly in Super Bowl 27, Arizona Cardinal Kurt Warner in Super Bowl 43, and Indianapolis Colt Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 44. Each quarterback had 31 pass completions. In third place, there's a tie between Tom Brady and Drew Brees. This is when Brady played for the New England Patriots, competing in Super Bowl 38, when Brees played for the New Orleans Saints in Super Bowl 44. Both Brady and Brees successfully carried through 32 completions in those years. Next, in second place is Denver Bronco Peyton Manning with 34 completions in Super Bowl 48. Record breaker in first place is quarterback Tom Brady with 37 completions. This is when he played for the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 49. Now back to you in the studio.
Cool. I didn't know that much about football.
Maybe I'll try football someday. Now Megan with her report on Hillary Clinton.
Thanks, Olivia. Can you believe that Hillary Clinton could be the very first woman president? Hillary Clinton was born on October 26, 1947 in Chicago, Illinois. She is 68 years old. Hillary loved sports as a child. Young Hillary wasn't initially interested in politics. She dreamed of becoming a baseball player, journalist, and an astronaut. She went to Wellesley College. Then she went to Yale Law School. Hillary was the first lady to hold a postgraduate degree. She also had two brothers, Tony and Hugh. Did you know that Hillary Clinton hasn't driven a car since 1996. The reason why is her husband Bill Clinton was a president, so they have a Secret Service detail to protect them for the rest of their lives. She served as First Lady for Arkansas for 12 years. Then she served as the United States First Lady. She was also the first woman to be elected to New York Senate. She ran for the Democratic presidential nomination but lost to Obama. Obama then made Hillary his Secretary of State for the first term. Besides working for the United States and practicing law, she has written 5 books. One of the books is called Dear Socks, Dear Buddy. Another book she wrote is The White House. In 1997, she won a Grammy for the Best Spoken Word Album. Hillary is also helping to expand health coverage for millions of kids. She's standing up for women's rights on the world stage. Also, she's helping 9/11's first responders. She went to Flint, Michigan to talk directly to residents and local leaders about the city's water crisis. Hillary is now running for the Democratic presidential nomination. She is currently in first place with 1,223 delegates. If she wins the general election, she will be the first woman president. Back to you at the desk, Olivia.
That will help out a lot with the election.
Sam is now going to talk to us about the Puppy Bowl.
Thanks, Megan. Let me explain that the Puppy Bowl uses puppies to impersonate players in the Super Bowl. The Puppy Bowl also has different animals do different things. They have chicken cheerleaders and a kitty halftime show. Did you know that the show first aired side by side with the Super Bowl in 2005? After every Puppy Bowl, the pups go up for adoption. This year was its 12th year on air, and it took about 30 people to produce. In 2015, it was Team Ruff versus Team Fluff, and Team Ruff got the victory 73-45. In 2016, it was the rematch, with Ruff and Fluff again. Team Ruff was able to clutch another victory, 70-44. You may wonder who is behind this wonderful form of entertainment. Well, it's none other than Animal Planet. I hope you're looking forward to the 13th Puppy Bowl, because I sure am. Back to you in the studio.
Aww, that sounds so cute.
Maybe I should watch some of the Puppy Bowl next year. Next is Olivia talking about a solution.
Thanks, Megan. Most people are unfamiliar with guinea worm. Guinea worm is a very dangerous disease. It is known to be contagious in Africa and Asia. Let me fill you in with some more information. First of all, here in America, we are very lucky to have clean and sanitized water. But in Africa, they have it much worse. In Africa, their water source is contaminated, and it's all they have. Almost 748 million people worldwide don't have safe or clean water, and that's a big problem. The good news is that the waterborne illness guinea worm is close to being wiped out. Meanwhile, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter and his team at the Carter Center in Atlanta, Georgia, have led the effort to eliminate the disease. They have decided to call this process the countdown to zero. Carter's team started working against the disease in 1986. How do you get the disease? Well, the only way to contract guinea worm is by drinking from a lake or pond containing water fleas that carry the disease. The disease starts about a year after the person sips the water. A thin worm emerges from a blister on the person's leg, causing pain and making it hard to walk. It takes weeks to recover. 30 years ago, about 3.5 million people in Asian and African countries had the disease. Today, there are only 126 cases left in 4 countries, still counting down to 0.
Oh, that is good that they are finding a solution. Sasha will now be talking to us about horses.
Thanks, Megan. Good morning. This is Sasha King. For all of you that may be interested in horseback riding, I have a place for you. Lucky 7 Stables is located on Litchfield Road in Londonderry, New Hampshire. It is open year-round 7 days a week. Lucky 7 Stables offers Western horseback riding, which is the style of cowboys. The seat of a Western saddle is comfortable for long rides. Horseback riding lessons and boarding are available at reasonable cost. There are 5 miles of guided scenic trails. Trail riding requires no experience and is fun for the whole family. Lucky 7 Stables also has horses for sale. There are gifts and collectibles for sale as well. Looking for a party place? Lucky 7 Stables offers pony rides and parties for different age groups. So if you are looking for a fun day with horses, Lucky 7 Stables is the place for you. Back to you guys in the desk.
I would love to go horseback riding soon.
Same.
Now Megan will do an interview with Mrs. Jester.
Thanks, Olivia. Thank you for taking your time to do this interview for Wolf News. We really appreciate it. So, Mrs. Jester, here are a few questions about how you got into your career. Did you want to be a teacher when you were my age?
No, I didn't think I would be a teacher. I didn't think I was smart enough. And I was thinking all kinds of different things, but I didn't think teacher.
Do you enjoy being a teacher?
I love it. Once I found out what I wanted to be, everything just kind of clicked in my life and things came into place.
What classes do you teach?
I've taught everything at the high school at one time or another, all the different grades, but for the last 10 years or so, it's just juniors. So I have some honors juniors, some college prep juniors, and some practical juniors.
How many years of college did you take for teaching?
Well, I got a bachelor's degree first, and usually it takes 4 years. It took me 5, because I started off in pre-med and went a different way. Really did not like that. It was not fun. And then I had to do my student teaching and all that other stuff, and that takes time. I ended up going back to my old high school to do my student teaching, which was kind of weird. But it was a big, big school. It's about, now it's about 2,000 people, but when I was there it was 4,000 students. So I was able to be on a floor and in a part where I hadn't had those teachers, because that would have been a little weird.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of teaching?
Working with the students, and I really love the writing process, working with that. Like today, I had a student who had a lot of trouble getting into the research, and then all of a sudden everything clicked today, and he was finding all kinds of sources, and that was neat.
Did you take any high school courses for teaching?
Nope. I took physiology and anatomy thinking, medicine, that's where I want to go. No.
What is the hardest part of teaching?
I think it's dealing with the workload and managing the workload. It's intense. I do about 3 to 5 hours of homework every night during the week. And homework includes grading stuff as well as preparing lessons. And then on the weekend, I do 10 to 20 hours. Yep.
How much homework do you give out a night?
It depends on the class. My honors classes will be reading and responding from 30 to 45 minutes on a regular basis. The way I set up the schedule, they can manage it themselves, so they know, like, for example, they have to read 5 chapters by next Wednesday, so they can manage that time for themselves by then. 5 chapters doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's John Steinbeck, it's a lot. And then my college prep students have a little bit less, and then my practical level students, we primarily do our work in class, and then homework is so that they can finish work they didn't have time to finish in class.
Thank you for coming to tell about your career in teaching. Back to Olivia at the desk.
When I get older, I hope I have her as a teacher.
Our final report is Kim, talking about wild animals.
Have you ever thought about wild animals as pets? Privately owned wild animals are called exotic pets. In Nevada, Wisconsin, Alabama, North Carolina, and South Carolina, no license or permit is required to keep wild animals as pets. Experts estimate there are 5,000 tigers kept as pets in the U.S. That is more than what is left in the wild on the entire planet. The number of privately owned primates is about 15,000. In October 2015, officials removed 5 tigers from Mike Stapleton's place in Columbus, Ohio. An alligator was removed from a basement of someone's house in Dayton, Ohio. Hundreds of thousands of wild animals are kept in the backyards and basements of houses all around the country. Wild animals can be dangerous when they grow bigger, and they can harm humans. Wild animals can also spread diseases. Sometimes they are bigger and stronger than you can manage. Not all of these animals are treated like family members. All above, the most important part when keeping an exotic pet is watching them. If your wild animal is sick or hurt, it's hard to find a vet. Sometimes you will kill animals' populations. You can also get rabies. If you lose your wild pet, it can scare or hurt someone. If people keep buying wild animals and keeping them as pets, soon there won't be any more animals left in the wild. If we don't do something about these animals, populations can decrease a lot. People shouldn't have wild animals as pets. Back to you guys at the desk.
That was a great report.
Hopefully they are finding a solution.
Thanks for watching Wolf News.